Hari Om everyone, I am Anita and today I'm going to be sharing a story that I had written over 6 years back. At that time, I used to love Enid Blyton's stories, so this is greatly inspired by her style of writing. This story is called Pendy the Lazy Pixie. So, a long, long time ago, there was this beautiful magical forest called Encha. It was just like all those stories written about these enchanted forests. There were rainbows, sunshines, elves, and pixies constantly running around, talking fairies, butterflies, and moths, wizards, and so many other astounding surprises. Now, in this place, this very cute pixie lived. Her name was Pendy. Pendy was known to be a very cheerful, joyous, and kind pixie. But there was one big problem. She was very lazy. So she often gave excuses to not go to work and just sit in her cozy little home and sleep all day. One day it was that she had a cold, then she had that bones were broken. Now everyone
Anita, your voice is breaking up. Is it for me or is it for others also? Manya, Namit, are you able to hear?
Yeah, I think it's breaking.
Okay. What a lovely story, and there is a pause. Oh, okay. So looks like they have dropped.
Okay, can you hear me?
Now we can hear you, Anita. You have to share it again and then maybe continue. We just heard about the lazy lady, Pixie, I mean.
Okay. Um, can you see, Uncle?
Yes.
Okay. So, continuing where I left off, Pendy was very lazy. So, she always used to give excuses so she didn't have to go to work. So, one day it was that she had a cold, and then she had a stomach ache, and then that her bones were broken. Now, everyone knew these were excuses, but nothing could be done. So, in Encha, Christmas was fast approaching. The place was buzzing with happy chats, giggles, and laughs, and a lot of excitement. Everyone was very busy getting all the decorations ready so that their homes could look pretty because everyone loved Christmas. And Pendy too loved Christmas. Every year, she put up a beautiful Christmas tree, baked cookies, and kept a glass of milk for Santa. Santa fulfilled her wishes every year, so she absolutely loved this festival. But this year around, she got very lazy. She bought all her decorations, but she did not want to decorate her house. So she went to Veli the wizard's house. Now, Veli was a very old wizard who had a motherly affection to everyone in the forest. She was very wise and knew a lot of different spells. So Pendy went to her and asked her for a spell that would decorate her own house. Though Welly was fond of Pendy, she knew this was wrong. So she sent Pendy back saying, Christmas is an important festival. You must decorate your house on your own. Now Pendy was very disappointed. Then an idea struck her. She knew that Welly went to collect medicinal herbs every evening. So she decided to go to Welly's house at that time. When evening fell, Pendy sneakily set out for Welly's house. Once there, she climbed in through the open window and started looking around. Since Welly was very organized, it was easy for her to find a drawer labeled Christmas spells. She quickly went through them and aha, she had found the right one. She closed everything and ran back home. She took all her decorations out and then the little paper with the spell out of her pocket and skimmed through it. She pronounced the magical words and put the paper in her box of decorations. So she watched this paper slowly dissolve in the box and she felt very happy. But unfortunately, she had missed the crucial direction to take all the extra decorations outside the box. Now, this was very sad. But oblivious to her mistake, Pendy ran to the kitchen to bake some cookies and make warm milk. She went to bed content that night and excited for Christmas and the gifts it would bring the next day. Soon the sun was shining outside, and Pendy stretched and woke up with a yawn. She went to her living room to open her presents, but froze in her place in utter horror. Her house was an absolute mess of tangled decorations. There were little figurines strewn across the floor, knotted lights at every nook and cranny. Pendy cried out in frustration. She should have just listened to Ellie. Now she had to untangle all of those decorations and put them back also. She also realized that Santa didn't come to give her gifts because he just couldn't enter the house due to these tangled decorations. So Pendy looked up at the front door and saw that she couldn't even step outside the house. She was stuck until she had untangled all of these decorations. She slumped down in sorrow and sighed a deep sigh. She felt very bad. She quickly ate some breakfast and got down to cleaning her house. Now Pendy had learned her lesson to never be lazy. Legends say that even today, Pendy is still untangling her decorations. If you see a tiny, abandoned looking house, put your ear on the door. And if you hear little jingling sounds, then you found Pendy's home. So, all of this is a very simple story. The moral is to never be lazy. And for me, that's something that's of great importance because sometimes I do let my laziness take over all the work that I have to finish. So I also wanted to share a small technique that I have been using for um, a few months now that has been helping me. It's a Japanese technique called the Kaizen technique. So it's basically all of your tasks, you'll split them into smaller subtasks. So instead of just thinking that I have to finish this group assignment, I can think that I have to first collect some information, write them down, and then make a chart or a presentation. Just breaking tasks down makes it a lot better for your mind. And this has actually worked because for me, when I do this, the tasks seem much smaller and lesser difficult. So I don't feel lazy to do them and I don't procrastinate. So that's all I want to share. Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice. Any questions for Anita? Aditi, don't you have any question for Anita?
Uncle, I don't have questions necessarily, but I have feedback.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, okay. So now all of us can go round the table, starting with Aditi. If there are any questions or any observations from the story that you felt, you can do that, and also feedback to Anita. Yeah, go ahead, Aditi.
Uncle, I think she expressed every emotion very well with her voice. I think we were able to feel all those emotions very vividly, so that was really nice. And even though the story is really simple, it was nice that she was able to give an example of her life towards the end, so it could be actually useful to all of us, and it's not just another story.
Excellent. Very good. Very important point you made. How do you relate to personal experience? Yeah. Anything more you have to say, Aditi?
No, Uncle.
Anything that you have as a feedback for improvement?
Uncle, not really.
Excellent. Very nice. Namit?
Yes, sir, the story was really nice. We really enjoyed it about the lazy pixie. It told us the importance of being lazy in a very fun way, and and the consequences of being lazy, what it can cause, and it was told in a very nice way of with the Christmas being related to the Christmas, that Santa didn't give her gift because she was lazy and didn't untangle all the lights and all the decorative items because she was lazy. Lazy, even Santa didn't want to enter her house. So that's why we should never be lazy.
Very nice. Any feedback on the storyteller?
No,
Okay. Manya?
I really enjoyed this story, Vijayji. I also like reading these like similar stories. And I like how they end up with some legends that even today you can see something like this, or you can still see that person. It's really nice. I think another hidden meaning, which I think indirectly each one of us some we got it, but then yeah. So I think that meaning, that hidden meaning or the moral would be that being lazy is definitely bad, but then to cheat someone and especially when they've told you no, but then you still cheat them and go behind their back and get it, then you'll never get good out of that. It'll always lead to consequences that you will for sure regret about whatever you've done, going behind the back. Secondly, I like how she ended the story with not only what to do but then how to do. So really nice story overall. I really enjoyed it.
Excellent.
It's also presented really.
Okay. Any feedback on the story technique itself, and can anything be improved?
Nothing that comes to my mind now. Actually, I think it's really nice. It's perfect.
Okay, very nice. So, first of all, Anita, I would like to share some kind of a contrary viewpoint. So, for example, most of the inventions are done by lazy people. So, when I say that, let me clarify. When somebody is active, only action oriented, you're focused on only, I have to act, they may not necessarily think. So therefore, the call to action, which is don't be lazy, is have a clarity of the action. Yeah. So many a times people simply go on acting. You would have noticed some people cannot sit idle. They cannot sit 10 minutes idle. Let's say, for example, you call them, come, let's meditate for 10 minutes. Meditation, boring. 10 minutes. What are you doing there? Sitting nothing with your eyes closed. And if any thoughts come, keep them away. Ayyo, who wants a blank mind? I have to be doing, right? So that kind of an action or that kind of an activity can actually lead to neurosis, because you're attached to action. If you're not acting, you feel, oh my God. That's why some people are constantly thinking about what next. It has become an obsession. So that kind of an action can definitely lead to neurosis. And of course, I know you didn't mean that, but I just wanted to bring out that point. And when I said that it is lazy people who invent, what I meant is not in the sense of those who are hesitant to action, but those who have a purposeful thinking behind the action are the ones who can invent. So in this particular story, what I felt is story is really nice, and the way you narrated is excellent, and the pictures and the way you emoted. What I would add is, at the beginning, you can kind of instigate the viewers or the listeners into some kind of a thinking process. See, it's like movies, no? Let's say a typical thriller, okay? Let's say a crime thriller. How does it begin? It begins with a scene where, crime has happened. And the viewers are presented all kinds of possible, let's say, the culprit angles, but you don't know who has done. So what that does is it draws the viewer into, you have to find out who has done it, right? So that curiosity has to be created in the initial step. And then, of course, the story unfolds, and the user is still looking for that answer, right? This is the typical one of the technique. You create a sense of curiosity or a question or something to unravel. It's like saying that, for example, villain called Ravana has taken Sita away. Sita, who is the queen of Ayodhya, and Rama is searching for her. Will he find? Will he be successful? Will he ever bring Sita back? Let's find out. It's a kind of a, you create an intrigue. You have created a question. You created a seeking. So when you create a seeking, then the listeners will be, let's see. Of course, all of you know Ramayana, so you will all tell me even before I finish that sentence, I know. Okay, so I'm not talking about Ramayana here. I'm talking about a way of creating the intrigue. And then, of course, Ramayana you tell, then they'll be invested in the Rama, in Rama's journey. Otherwise, why is he going there? Why is he meeting Sugriva? Why is he simply walking around? All that question may come. But if the intrigue is there, they're invested in the story. So you have only the first few seconds to draw your the most important investment from your listener is they have to be completely paying attention. Their time and their mind has to be in your story. So that's the investment you should get from them. Then the story will unfold and then the climax. So this is one suggestion I wanted to leave it with you, Anita.
Yes, Uncle, that makes a lot of sense.
You are not audible.
I was just saying that makes a lot of sense. So I'll try to use that. I'll use that next time.
Yeah.
And also about the first thing that you mentioned, I should bring clarity to that, and I'm sorry about it. By lazy, I don't mean only act without thinking. I mean, for me at least, actions that will benefit you or others, or are something that needs to be done, but you don't want to do it because you're lazy or you're trying to procrastinate. Those kind of things, we should not be lazy and carry out those actions.
Excellent. I know you meant that. I just wanted to highlight it. Yeah.
Yes, Uncle. I wanted to bring clarity too because it's not right to say it like that.
Very nice.
Uncle, thank you for your feedback.
Oh, sure. Any other questions? Any other comments from anyone? All right. If there are none, then we can end the story session.